just sat in bed all day long. Iced it every 20 minutes, maybe over a few hours. And then I did a lot of online training. I tried online research. So
Welcome to the Back to Work Melbourne Podcast, where Dr. Dorfman is your federal workers' comp OWCP expert in Brevard County, Florida. In this podcast, you'll hear tips and tricks about the OWCP process, along with heartfelt patient testimonials from those we've helped get their claims approved. Tune in each week for insightful advice and inspiring stories that will guide you through your journey.
Sean,
yes,
you're from
Colorado.
So we're doing a podcast today. This is our first podcast from the Orlando office. And you contacted me from our website, and you're in Colorado. You work for the post office,
Yes.
and you injured your ankle. So tell me what happened, because you found me on the internet, and that's why you came all the way to Florida this morning to see our nurse practitioner, our medical staff, to get your claim approved. So let's start all the way in the beginning and tell me, how long have you been at the post office?
I started with the post office in 1996. So
Okay.
This is like my 29th year. Yes.
Wow, you started when you were 8?
No, I was maybe 23.
Okay.
24.
And what do you do at the post office?
I live here.
Okay. And so tell me, how'd you injure yourself?
Well, first, I basically tripped down some stairs. I was on a route for maybe 20 years up until December 2023. I did a different route in December, and I ended up going to this new route, which I was unfamiliar with everything, and I just finished the delivery and was walking out and tripped over some stairs, and I rolled the ankle, took maybe 2 or 3 steps to keep my balance. And, you know, like a trooper that I am, I figured, okay, let me just finish out my day.
And you look like you're in great shape. You've been to the gym?
Yes.
But you don't like falling downstairs?
I do not. I
Okay.
do not like falling downstairs. So after that, like I said, I finished out my day, and pretty much that was it. So I got back to the office and was in some pain, but it was manageable.
Yes. So you
But
see
then
her lieutenant.
the next morning,
I'm sorry, at 10 a.m.
when I woke up,
And
basically woke up in the middle of that, getting ready for work, and put my foot down on the floor to get out of bed, and literally basically collapsed from the pain. Then I had to pretty much hop to the restroom. Like, what the heck is going on with my foot? Looked at my foot, and I showed you a picture of it.
Yeah.
And it swollen up like an onion, pretty much. So, and I proceeded to, then I just couldn't, there's no way that I could have gone to work, so I pretty much called in.
And had you spoken to anyone the day of the injury, the day before, or you just kicked it off and felt you'd be fine?
The next day I had a day off. So I figured, you know what, I go home, relax this thing, put it up, and recover, and then I figured I'd be okay. But like I said, when I got out of bed the next morning to go to the restroom, it was extremely painful.
So the next day that you were supposed to be working, you called out?
Right.
And is that when you first alerted your supervisor that something was wrong?
Well, that's just it. I called him and said, listen, this was on a Wednesday. Now my day off was on a Thursday. So on Friday, I was still in extreme pain. So I figured, maybe I just need another day, right? So I called in again. Just sat in bed all day long. Iced it every 20 minutes, maybe over a few hours. And then I did a lot of online training. I tried online research. So then the next day, Saturday, rolls around. I go to work, get up again, just can't move. So I was like, Jesus, called in again. Sunday was a regular day off. And then I should be okay. The next day, I call my supervisor. I think I broke my foot. I can't put any pressure on it. It's painful just to, if I put my foot down, it's just excruciating pain. And then he said, okay, well, just try to figure it out. And so I ended up, that was pretty much, after that, I had to go to like the emergency room or, my doctor, and we took x-rays, and they said it was basically too swollen to see anything.
So your supervisor didn't provide you just any kind, when you spoke to your supervisor, but have you spoken to your supervisor yet?
No, I spoke to him on the phone at this one.
And so after almost 30 years of being at the post office,
right,
he didn't provide you any type of, go to this person, to that person. It basically, you're like everybody else at the post office that injured themselves. You're just on your own. And then you go to the hospital or the urgent care center or even your primary doctor and you get care. Right. But you're no further in getting your claim approved because none of those people know how to do it. Right. So you went to the first person that you went to was the hospital?
Yes, it was I don't know if I can say it.
Sure.
Kaiser.
Sure. Yeah.
Kaiser. So I called in and said, look, I need to be seen. I think I broke my foot. It's just a lot of pain. They had the appointment, took some x-rays, and they put me in like an air cast.
Okay, so you went to the hospital, you went to Kaiser, they did some x-rays,
yes.
Maybe provided you some pain medication maybe.
Right.
Okay, and then did they, after that one visit over there, did they tell you anywhere to go? Did they give you any kind of help?
They told me to just rest up. You should be okay. And I was like, okay, fine.
You're like, it's been 5 days and I'm not okay.
Right.
It's worse.
Right. So after maybe, a couple more days, I called them again. I said, this thing is just not getting better. So can I come back in? So they sent me to a different doctor. I said, the first available, whatever you have. And so I went there, more x-rays. So this, like even trying to get on this x-ray, they had me, it's like a step, like a 2-level step type of thing. Couldn't even balance myself. The pain was just so.
Right, can't put any pressure on it whatsoever.
None whatsoever. So, and then mind you, I have crutches, I have boots, and trying to just navigate with that is a challenge in itself. So that day was done. And
nope, just looking. Make sure the time was that we pressed the button correctly.
Okay, so after that, I went maybe a week later, 2 weeks after that, I went to my primary again. So then he goes, well, I said, this thing is just not getting better. So then he sent me to an ortho.
And these are all non-federal workers' comp doctors.
Right.
These are just through your health insurance.
Yes.
Post office didn't offer you any kind of assistance whatsoever in attempting to find someone that does federal work, because you're not the first person to injure yourself at the post office. It's been you and thousands of people before you, and no help at all from your employer to find a federal workers' comp doctor. Okay, so you're still going to these doctors. Right.
So I went to the ortho. He goes, we did an MRI, and it came back with like a lot of different verbiage, damage. That I had cartilage fissuring, as if like you're breaking a chicken bone, and then the cartilage from the chicken bone. That's what he told me happened to my ankle.
Okay. And have you been getting any type of, did they offer you physical therapy, anything to help with the inflammation, strengthening the area?
And then he ordered physical therapy. So I started physical therapy after a little while. He said we may have to fuse it together, have surgery, maybe fuse it together.
And the physical therapy that they referred you for, when you went there, what did they do? Did they help you with any kind of machines? Did they do muscle stim, ultrasound, any stretching, any just anything at all, or do they just?
This basically looked at me and it's like, okay, we're gonna give you these exercises. Give me a little sample of exercises to do and send me off and say do them at home.
At home. Okay. So you've had a cortisone injection and basically no physical therapy.
Correct.
And a whole bunch of visits to the medical doctor, orthopedic doctor, under your health insurance. And you've been at the post office for about 29 years and literally no help from them in finding someone.
Correct.
Okay. And then one night you're scrolling, middle of the night, YouTube.
After months,
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally can't sleep because usually, I get pretty good sleep, but since this injury,
That's what pain does.
I just have not
Yeah.
been able to sleep for months. And there's been times where I'm laying in bed dozing off,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I jerk in the foot. It's like, I can hear it clicking, like something's like not secure
Right.
there. And it just wakes me up in the middle of the night, screaming at the top of my lungs. So that's, it's been super tough.
And how long has it been now?
Maybe 13 months,
Okay, so over a year.
over a year.
How's your quality of life? You know you're not working.
Right.
So what about your quality of life? I mean, just getting out of bed.
I mean, it's terrible. Quality of life when you are having to worry about every time you take a step.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
When you have to duck walk to a restroom in the morning until you can, at least feel a little comfortable. Initially, it was crutches. Going to the restroom, crutches every day for months, and just having to, it's like learn how to walk all over again. So.
Just, walking through your house to go brush your teeth, walking through the house to go sit on the sofa.
Doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen. Going to the gym to exercise, just no quality of life whatsoever.
No, it doesn't happen.
Okay. And if you didn't find us on the internet, what do you think your destination was? Like, who were you going?
A trajectory.
Yeah.
Here's the things I get from 2.5 decades at the post office. A removal.
Mm-hmm.
A removal from my career. That's the things I've gotten.
Right.
So
They just take as much as they can, and then.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like I said, one night I'm scrolling, can't sleep, scrolling through different YouTubes, and all of a sudden I see this. The first 2 seconds, I see this guy, Superman, Dr. Dorfman. Immediately catches my attention, and it's like you were speaking to me directly. So immediately, 2:00 in the morning, I'm looking at this phone number. I'm calling this phone number. It's like, it's 2 in the morning, so I couldn't wait, to be able to, speak to you. So I called the number, you answered, and I explained everything to you. And I'm here
Because I remember speaking to you and you said that when you saw my video, that you just, for some reason, you just knew I could help you. And the moment you just told me what knew I could help you, because all we need to do is get your claim accepted. You haven't been anywhere to any doctor, so therefore your claim has not been accepted. 13 months later, your claim has not been accepted. And therefore, everything that's happening is coming out of your pocket.
Yes.
And anything that you could obtain from injuring yourself because of work is not in your future, because you haven't been able to get your claim accepted. However, what we're going to do, because you flew all the way here from Colorado this morning, is you saw our nurse practitioner. We're going to get your claim approved. We're going to get that accepted. And now that it's accepted, now you're able to, yes, in a perfect world, you'd be going to a federal, we're going to do our best to find someone out there. But at least, if not, you'll still go into underneath your health insurance and still submit it under federal workers' comp expenses should be reimbursed back. So now no one's asking for any money. Nothing is coming out of your pocket. And even your transportation expenses, your trips back and forth from the doctor, however far it is from your home, your trips back and forth from the doctor will be reimbursed back to you, your travel expenses. So that's something that if you were going to federal workers' comp doctors, going to, you wouldn't be having to pay for anything. Once a month, you fill out a transportation form to get reimbursed for your expenses, but none of that is happening.
Right.
Because you've never been able to get your case approved because there's no doctors in your area that do, even though you're in Colorado, there's no, well, we're going to do the best that we can. We're going to get your claim approved. We're going to call out to Colorado. We're going to see who's available. And even if you're going to people within your health insurance, we're going to make sure that you get your needed care.
Oh, great.
So I'm so glad you're here today. I drove all the way from Melbourne just to come here to be our first podcast here in Orlando. We've been in Orlando over a year now, seeing all of our federal workers' comp here. So we're doing this in our waiting room. I really appreciate that you came out here, and we're going to do our best to make your visit completely worth it.
All right. So I really appreciate it.
It's a real pleasure. Real pleasure.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time, your expertise. Thank you so much.
We're going to do great things for you. I know it.